Hi, in this video we will create a weather app where users can find the current weather in a city and also view the forecast for future days, all using Python and Django. The app will look like this. It's a simple page where users can type the name of the city they wanna check. It will load the current weather as well as forecast for future days, including hourly weather updates. First of all, we need to access the directory of the project. In my case, I will be using Visual Studio Code for this video. I am assuming you have installed Python and Django, so we will start a new Django project called Weather Page. It will create a folder with the name of our project, so we need to enter this folder in the terminal. Inside this folder, there are many files, but the only action we need to take is to start an app. And we can do this by running the command python manage.py start app weather page app. This will create a folder inside our project with several files, but we will only open the file name views.py. In this file we will import the request library and the datetime module. And now, to obtain information about the weather, we will use the Openweathermap API. This service provides access to weather data for various locations. All you need to do is create an account, and the page will provide us with a default key for access the API. Back to our program, we define a function called index with the parameter request, and inside we create a variable for our API key. We put quotes, and inside them we place our Openweathermap key. So let's go to the website, copy it, and paste it into our code. Next, we write the URL that will be used to access to the weather data in Openweathermap. We will use placeholders, one in Q equal, where we'll specify the city we want to find, and another in app ID equal, where the API key will be inserted. With the same idea, we create the forecast URL. But now we put the URL with the following placeholder: lat and long, which the weather URL will provide us when call it, and app ID to use our API key. Below we create an if statement for a post request. If the condition is true, we assign the value of the city field from the submitted HTML form to the variable city. If the condition is not true, we render an HTML file, which we will place in the templates folder. To do this, first within our apps page, we create a folder named templates. Inside this templates folder, we create another folder named weather page app. And within this folder, we create a file named index.html, which we will not modify at this moment. So with all of this, we create a function to fetch the weather and the forecast, passing the parameter city, API key, current weather URL, and forecast URL. Below, we send a GET request to obtain the current weather data by calling the URL we wrote earlier. We pass the parameter city and API key to replace the placeholders, and we store all of this in the response variable in JSON format. The response from the URL will look something like this, with many values that we can use to manipulate. Then we assign the lat and long variables. These are used to store the exact position of the city, and we retrieve them from the response variable. We create a dictionary called weather data, where we'll store the value city, where we'll place the value of the entered city. Temperature, which we will take from the response, but as it comes in Kelvin degrees, we will convert it to Celsius by subtracting 273.15. And description, which gives us a brief description of the weather, and the icon that represents that weather. Now we create the forecast response for the forecast data, and similar to what we did in the weather response, we use the forecast URL. We pass the parameters lat, long, and API key and convert them to JSON format. The response we will obtain looks like this. It contains data for the next 5 days, with weather information for each hour. Therefore, we will have a fairly extensive JSON, so what we'll do is create a collection. So, we import the file dict from the collection module, which helps us better manage how we access a Python dictionary. Below, we create the daily forecast collection of type default dict list. This will automatically create an entry with an empty list, as its value if we try to access a key that does not yet exist. This will be useful for the following steps. We create a for loop that will iterate over the entire forecast response and access to the forecast list within the forecast object. It will iterate only over the first 40 elements of the list, assigning the values to daily data. We create a variable dt timestamp to store the forecast date, taking it directly from the dt section and converting it to a known date format. We also create a variable to store the day of the week, which we will extract from the dt timestamp variable. We create our dictionary where we'll store all the forecast information, but we will be saving each day of the week as a key, as we may have different data for each day of the week. And inside we will define the following data: date, which stores the date of the information; day, which stores the day; time, which stores the time; min temp and max temp, which stores the minimum and maximum temperature respectively, converted to degrees Celsius; description, which stores a brief description and the icon. With all of this done, we return to dictionaries we created that contain the current weather and the forecast. We go back up and define the variables that will store the information we just wrote, calling the function we created a few moments ago. We pass everything to the variable context, as this data will be sent to the HTML template when the page is rendered. And finally, we render the index page and pass the context variable to it. Now we navigate to the index page to start writing. In this case, I will be using a HTML template because my VS Code doesn't work. But the only important thing is that we need to have an HTML template. We change the title to weather page. Within the body, we create a div with the class search bar, and inside it, we'll create a form with the method pass. To write raw code, we use curly braces and a percentage symbol. And in this case, we'll write CSRF token as a security measure to prevent malicious requests. We create a text input with the name city and set its placeholder to type a city. Additionally, we create a zombie button with the text search. Below, we create another div with class weather container. Inside, we'll include a raw code if statement where we dictate that if weather data exists, then it should display a div with a class city container and include a template name currentweather.html to show the current weather, passing the weather data to that page. Additionally, it should include another template to display the forecast and pass the forecast data to that page. We create this page in the templates folder. First, we will configure the current weather page. We will show us the current weather. Now, we check if there is information with an if weather data. Then, within a h1 tag, we write the name of the city, which has the values of weather data in curly braces. Below, we create a div with a class weather container city, and inside we create another div with class weather. Within this div, we create an h2 displaying today as text. Underneath, we create another h2 where we'll place the temperature from weather data and display it in Celsius. Next, we create a p tag with the description of weather. Below that, we insert an image with the source from Openweathermap, but after the W, we'll write the value of weather data icon between curly braces, followed by .png. We'll use the description as the alt text. This will be all the thing we'll do on this page. Now we navigate to the forecast file. First, we create a div with class forecast title that will store the title forecast. Further down, we create a for loop that iterates over each key of daily forecast. As we recall, each key contains the name of a forecast day. Inside this loop, we create a div with class forecast container, and inside it, another for loop that iterates over all the forecasts in daily forecast. However, it only accesses the keys of this forecast. Therefore, we need to add a custom filter in Django, which will name getItemKey. To be able to use custom filters in Django, we need to go back to views.py and add the register function from the Django template default module. Below that, we register a function as a custom filter using register filter. Then we create the getItem function, which takes two arguments: dictionary, which is the dictionary from which we want to obtain the value, in this case daily forecast, and key, which is the key of the value we want to retrieve. We return dictionary.getKey, which will be used in the template. Below, we place an if change forecast.day statement, which allows to execute code within this function only if the value of forecast day has changed. We simply print the name of the day and the date, wrapping this inside a div with a class day. Underneath, we create a div with class forecast, and inside it we'll have a h3 containing the value of forecast.time to display the time of the weather. Below that, we'll have an h2 displaying the expected temperature. In this case, I'll include the minimum temperature, but it's possible to calculate an average of both temperatures or display both temperatures. We also include the description and the icon, just like we did in the current weather template. We close, and that will be all we do here. We need to add a urls.py file in our folder to define the routes the application can handle and map. We import the path function to define route. We also import our views.py file that we have configured. And in URL patterns, we create an empty route for the user to access the root of the website. And it will show the index function defined in the views module. Now we go to the settings.py file in the weather page folder, where we'll install our app by naming it below the install apps section. Also in this same folder, in the urls.py file, we will include the path of our application, weather page app, where we'll also import the include function. Once all of this is done, we can start the server using the command python manages.py run server. When I start, I encounter an error. In the weather page folder, I forgot to include a .urls in the path. We made the change, saved it, and found that we had another error. Now it tells us that we don't have a module name request, so we install it with pip. Once installed, we run the command python manage.py run server again. This time, our app runs correctly and shows where the local server is located. We go to that address in our browser and see a search bar, where we enter the city we want to search for. In my case, I search for a city near my region, Monclova, and click on search, and we encounter another error. The error was that I misspelled the URL of the weather, so I corrected this typing error, saved it, and reloaded the page. Now we will see how we obtained the weather information for the city we entered. The only error is that the description icons are not displayed. The error was another typing error that we corrected by adding a slash. We reload and we are done. Our weather app will be correctly represented. I'll make a small change by replacing the word Celsius with the Celsius symbol itself. We can try searching for another city to verify that everything is working well. Finally, we will add a CSS file for styling. For this case, I will go into the details on how to design in CSS. So I'll just copy and paste the style. But to add this, first we have to create a folder called static in the weather page app folder, and inside it we'll create styles. In the HTML page, we'll add a load static statement to load the static folder. Then we'll add the CSS file in the HTML as usual, but in the href we'll put static style.css between curly braces and percentage symbols. Then we'll open the style.css file and pass the CSS file that I left in the description. We save and reload, and we'll see that when we search for a city, we'll have our weather app finished, as we showed at the beginning of this video. That's all for the video. If I made any mistakes or if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the video.